No, I haven't forgotten about it, but I must admit it has been a while since I put anything out on the GSX-8S. So I thought I'd pull together a quick video to show you all of the changes that have been made to it so far. As you may know, this is a long-term loaner from Suzuki GB, so a massive thank you to those guys for allowing me to hang on to this and mess around with it. They've been really good. The only thing that I've not been able to do with it is cut chassis or cut anything off. As long as I can revert this back to stock, then they are happy for me to do with it whatever I want. If you follow the channel, then you'll know that since this bike arrived, I have bought myself another little project. So you would have seen a few videos coming out on the Ducati Scrambler, but I thought there's quite a bit gone into this in terms of new parts, which I haven't covered off. I've changed some of the bits that I've fitted in previous videos, so we'll look at those. So let me just give you a quick rundown of everything that's on this bike, starting with that exhaust, which you'll notice is different to the previous one. Initially, I switched the stock exhaust out for an Ixel Race Extreme, which was a really nice looking exhaust. Really liked it, sounded great. But I found that actually it was just a little bit too loud, or just a little bit too aggressive for what I wanted. And the guys at Ixel had actually given me an opportunity to try 2 different exhausts. So I went back to them and said, look, this has been really great, but can I try this one, which is the 3XLB, I think it is. I've probably got that around my neck. It should offer a little bit of a deeper sound, and it certainly has. So I went ahead, made that switch. Different style of exhaust, twin exit. This has got dB killers in there. Yeah, so it should be a pretty straightforward switch over. And that's how simple it is, and I really like the look of it. If anything, actually, I think I prefer the looks of this to that other Race Extreme exhaust. But I suppose the important thing is, what does it actually sound like? So this for me has really worked, and this is the exhaust that will be staying on the bike until such point that it goes back to Suzuki. One of the first things I changed on this bike from stock was the standard mirrors up here to a set of bar-in mirrors. I fitted a set of Gillies bar-in mirrors. They have now gone, and they've been replaced by these, which are Moto Gadget mirrors. They're a little bit smaller, but there's something quite different about these. And that is the fact that this is not glass, it is polished aluminium. But that of course means that they are unbreakable. They're a nice little mirror as well though. They are smaller than the Gillies ones that I had on there, which is something that I was looking for, but visibility is still very good. You've got the flexibility of being able to swing this arm, so you can mount them above, out to the side, or indeed down below your handlebars. And you've got a ball joint in here, so you've got plenty of movement on that mirror. All in all, a really nice little neat cool looking mirror. And as ever with Moto Gadget, they're beautifully machined and finished, although admittedly they are not cheap. Talking of swapping out Gillies parts, I also removed their tail tidy and replaced it with one from EvoTech Performance. I have to be honest, the EvoTech one is a much better system, and it looks factory. It's a really neat system, looks fantastic on the bike. And as you would notice, I've also swapped over the stock indicators for a set of Suzuki accessory LEDs. Now I did pick up a hugger to go on here, which I haven't yet put on, and given the time of year, and as you can see from the state of the roads, it is definitely something that I should do. As people quite rightly pointed out when I fitted the original tail tie D, they were telling me that I'm going to get a muddy back and I'm going to get loads of spray up the back, which you can see is definitely the case. So I think that hugger will go on in the next couple of weeks. Also, thanks to the guys at Suzuki, I fitted one of their style seats. This is an OEM accessory. It offers a bit of fancy stitching and some different grey material in the middle there, but that's about it. If I'm being honest, and sorry about this Suzuki, if you're thinking about buying one of these, save your money, keep it in your pocket and look at spending that on something else for the bike, because although it does look a little bit smarter, comfort wise it's no different. If anything, it's got slightly less padding on it, which means it's a little bit more uncomfortable than the stock seat. There's been a change in the tyres as well. Now I did take the stock ones off and put a set of Dunlop Mutants on, because the plan was to have those over the winter. But in the meantime, Dunlop launched the Sport Smart 4, and the guy said to me, would I like to test some of those? Now the Sport Smart 4, as they suggest, are a super sport tyre, so I was a little bit apprehensive about putting them on over the winter, but I have to say one ride in them completely changed my mind. Now I'm not going to say that they are a sort of tyre that you would want to use all year round as a touring tour. Something like the Road Smart is probably much better for that. These are definitely a much sportier tyre, but I left this bike at Yamaha whilst I had a short-term loan for a review, and the day that I had to go and pick it up and ride back home, it absolutely tipped it down with rain. And the tyres really only had about 150, 200 miles on them. So I thought, well, we'll take it easy and see how it goes. They were absolutely fine. They warm up really quickly and offer much more grip in the wet than I was expecting. But as I say, I will bring a full review out of these once I've got more mileage on them. That will be coming around March, April of next year. Now the other thing you will see that's gone on the front here are these Aero wings from the brand that I can never pronounce properly, Puig, I don't know. But these are a nice addition, just 4 bolts to get them on. Initially I put them on just for a bit of fun, but I think actually they improve the look of the front of the bike. They break up this kind of sharp, pointy headlight, and I think it looks nicer an overall front end with these on. So as I said, I put them on initially purely for aesthetics and just for a bit of a laugh, but actually they do, I think, offer some kind of function. Now this is an 80 horsepower bike, it is not a MotoGP bike, but having said that, at 50 to 60 miles an hour the front end is more stable. I think they definitely do put a little bit of downforce into the front end, and they're cheap to buy and easy to fit. So if you've got a GSX-8S, maybe have a look at a pair of those. Now I think I might have mentioned these in the original video I did on this bike, but I also opted for a set of the Suzuki OEM accessory levers. Really nice looking CNC machine parts with the Suzuki branding on, but they are adjustable, and these actually are also made by Gillies, because I've noticed the logo on the top there. Really like these. Again, if you want to just improve the looks over the standard levers, I think these are definitely worth the investment. I also fitted the OEM lower fairing, but I'm going to see if I can get the belly pan that goes on the 8TT to fit on here, because I think that looks really nice. So there you have it, a quick run around of the changes on the bike so far. I'm not quite sure where to go next with it. I think what I may do is have this bit covered to colour match this, so I'll either paint it, which actually, thinking about it, I'm probably not allowed to do with Suzuki, so I'll probably see if I can match it with a vinyl wrap, because I think that needs to be tied in. That would be nice. Other than that, I'll probably put that hugger on just to try to minimise the amount of mud and crap that goes on there, at least until the summer. I've also got a DNA filter conversion to go in this, so now that I'm set on that particular exhaust, I'll get that DNA filter in, then we can get it off to get it dynoed, and they're going to remap it so that it is running at its absolute best. Outside of that, if there's anything else that you would like to see on this bike, if you've got any other ideas, then let me know. I'd just like to add in another thank you to Suzuki GB for allowing me to use this and mess around with it and keep hold of it for as long as I have. I really appreciate that. And it is a hell of a bike. If you've never ridden one, I suggest get out and give one a try. Admittedly, a lot of people won't like the styling, so you have got the 8T and the TT, which are essentially the same bike underneath, same engine, same chassis, same tune, same exhaust as the stock, everything else, it's only the bodywork that changes those. You have got to pay a premium to get those, but if you want a really nice riding experience but don't like this look, then those are a couple to go and have a look at. And just before I go, I want to wish you guys a very happy new year. I hope that 2026 brings everything that you want. And until then, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.